All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today's final session with Spotted Horse. We are gathered, I am personally gathered here on the unceded traditional and ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. And as we are getting into the evening, to me, it still feels like it's the middle of the afternoon because, of course, the sun is still out and we've just come past the solstice and just having this time of being able to enjoy the beauty outside without any like lights or flashlights or anything is just such a joy during this time of year. So I give a lot of gratitude to the land. And this is Spotted Horse's final session with us. Today, he's already done 3 sessions, giving us a little bit of background of his life, sharing some his thoughts about how to really put visions and goals out there to improve our lives. And then the last session, we talked a little bit about gratitude, and he's wrapping it all up together in this final session tonight. This session is being recorded, and if you have any questions, please do drop it into the chat. Okay, so Larry Spotted Horse Fenton is from Pavilion or Skwlax Indian Band in St'at'imc territory and resides in Kamloops along with his wife Dakota Tomma from Skwlax and Indian Band, and he's connected to the Kamloops Indian Band from his adopted dad, John Leonard. Spotted Horse is really just a positive person who works with youth, children, and people of all ages to experience Aboriginal pride. And Spotted Horse also just really encourages everyone, and we saw this in the other sessions, to push themselves to be better versions of themselves. And with that, I'll hand it over to Spotted Horse for this last session. Thank you so much.
All right. Boom. White to white tip, stuk stuk skaharus quest. Hello everyone. My name is Spotted Horse, and we are here in our very last session of this evening, the 4 sets, and this one will be the last one right here. So for this one, I just wanted to put a bunch of different things together that I ended up learning from a lot of different mentors out there that basically might be able to help somebody out there to, I guess you say, to learn, to be able to put it under the belt so that they may have it when they end up going through challenges, or if they ever need something, a certain tool, as you may say, right? If they may need to use it in a way of making it through a challenge, going through, so whatever it is that they're going through in their life. So I guess first off, a lot of my work ended up really being geared towards, I guess you'll say, Aboriginals, First Nations, Indigenous people, and one of them, what I wanted to bring up is bring it up for us as a people, I guess you'd say, talking about of how resilient we are as a people for a lot of different things of we ended up going throughout our lives. So we ended up going through the residential schools, right? The 60s scoop, right? The murdered and missing Indigenous women and men, and yet still not only that, there's a lot of the family violence, right? And a lot of racism along with that as well for a lot of the things that we went through. And I just want to actually hold my hands up to everybody that is actually, so still here today, still being able to listen to this video right here. You know what? So you're amazing, you're beautiful, and man, oh man, we're resilient people. We're strong, resilient people, most definitely. And one of the things I'd like to bring up right now is for us as Indigenous people, so something I ended up finding out doing a little bit of research out there is finding out that us as a people, we are actually one of the fastest growing nations out there. fastest growing ethnic with the ethnic background of First Nations, Indigenous, and man, oh man, that was pretty amazing to find out. Really amazing to find out. And I I kind of wondered for a first little while, and I sat there and I had to do a little bit of more research for myself to find out like I'm like, wow, really? I didn't realize that. And I did some more research and I found out that basically because of our history, a lot of things that we went through, right? Um, we are actually the fastest dying as well. So, suicide, overdosing, and a lot of us are still stuck in the traumas of a lot of the different things that we went through for the residential schools, the 60s scoop, and um, MMIW. And Every Child Matters, right? The 215, most definitely, right? We went through quite a bit throughout our lives, but bringing all that up, just realizing how resilient, how strong we are as a people is pretty amazing. It is truly amazing. And it's all within ourselves up here to actually be able to make that change for ourselves, to actually realize what is possible for us out there, right? Um, some of the things that I actually want to bring up from some of my mentors out there is that for us as a people, for how special we are as human beings, man, oh man, we're amazing. We're amazing that we get to do so many different things out there in life. We we get to be doctors, we get to be lawyers, we get to be teachers, we get to, be RCMP, we get to be a fireman, we get to be, right? And realizing that we're on Mother Earth, and because we're so special, we get to do all those different opportunities in our lives, right? Because if you sit there and you think about everything that is actually living on Mother Earth, a lot of different things out there don't get that opportunity, right? You know, only a bear can be a bear, right? A wolf can only be a wolf. A horse can only be a horse, right? And us as a people, man, oh man, we have that opportunity to actually, so, get out there and actually learn and be something different if we want, right? It's all up to us. We got to push everything that we have up here to actually make things happen, most definitely. And not only that, when we go through certain things, so, some of the biggest challenges out there for us is is ourselves, right? Like I said in the past Zoom, is that so we are our own worst critic, right? We're the ones that are actually making it really challenging for us. So in having that said, so I forgot about the acronym that actually goes with that. And the acronym that goes with that is actually it is what it's called is killing ants. ANTS, right? Killing ants. Killing those automatic negative thoughts. So most definitely, if you actually think about it every day, so basically for yourself, so killing those automatic negative thoughts within you, right? To make everything a lot more better for yourself. And most definitely, it is challenging. It is challenging. It took me a long time to actually end up being where I'm at today. So, to be able to not think those automatic negative thoughts all the time. And most definitely, I enjoy life. I love life. I love everything that it has to offer, most definitely. And so, some of the other things that I like to bring up is that when you're actually out there and you're working on yourself, and when you're working on yourself, a lot of people always see it as, so, practicing something, right? To get better and better at something, right? And a lot of people always had that one saying, uh, practice makes what? I think they used to say perfect, right? And in which is funny, one of my mentors told me, no, it can't be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Practice makes progress, right? So no matter what, We're all learning every single day, and we're learning and we're learning and we're learning. So practice makes progress, most definitely. And I see that and I'm like, yeah, that is true. Because no matter what, even when I'm actually at, say, who knows, maybe 80, 90 years old, man, oh man, I still haven't learned everything I still need to learn. I'm still going to be learning, so I'm still going to be practicing everything that I need to practice to learn, most definitely, when I get up there in that age. And um, some of the things that I like to bring up in everyday society. So, a lot of us out there, so, we realize a lot of different things that we have the opportunity of doing different things, and a lot of us aren't pushing ourselves hard enough to actually be able to do those. So, for myself, so, I encouraged and I pushed myself to actually do what I'm doing today, and I think it's amazing. I think it's um, truly for me it's almost like it's mind blowing because it's, oh man, I can't believe some of the things I get to do to be able to be a part of this kind of stuff that's happening. And most definitely I'd love to encourage other people, if you're not doing what you really love to do, try and source that out. Even if you're working an everyday job, source out what you love to do and just do just a little bit of it every day, a little bit. And the more and more you do it, the more and more you'll notice that you actually get connected with other people that are actually in that field. You get connected with other possibilities, and pretty soon your job that you're actually working on will actually end up, so you'll probably no longer want to do that because all of a sudden you get offered something in the field that you love to do, right? And then when you get into the field that you love to do because you've been working at it no matter what, that basically from there your sense of feeling of belonging will feel so much more better out there for yourself as well. Because I used to think about that all the time. I was like, man, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm not exactly happy doing what I'm doing, but they're paying me. They're paying me. It's my paycheck. But at the same time, I didn't exactly feel fully happy. So I literally started working on my own stuff on the side. I tell you, right after I was done my job, I'd come back home and I would sit in front of my computer, my laptop. I would start typing things out that I needed to get typed out, right? And I knew eventually it was going to get there. I knew it was going to get there. And most definitely, here it is. Here's the time. Here's the day, right here and right now. So, most definitely, a lot of you guys out there are basically working, working hard enough just to keep yourself from quitting, right? Or keep yourself from getting fired, right? You're just working hard enough so that you don't get fired, and a lot of you actually just, so, are getting paid enough, just paid enough from keeping yourself from quitting as well, most definitely. And I sit there and I used to think about that. I was like, so, I heard this from, what was it? It was one of my mentors. Les Brown was the one that actually brought that one up. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize that. And I was actually realizing that, so, yeah, it was true. I was actually working just hard enough just so that I wasn't getting fired. I didn't want to put my full potential into this job because it wasn't what I really wanted in my life. But when I started feeling everything that I really wanted to do, I started pushing a lot more harder, started pushing a lot more, and I got a lot more better at a lot more things out there. And I'm really happy with what I'm doing now, and I'm really happy with, so, with my life, with everything. Man, it's not exactly happiness, man. It's feeling great. It's feeling awesome every single day, and I'm loving it. And I'm telling you, if you guys could be where I'm at right now, man, oh man, you guys would love it every single day. looking at every day as a beautiful day, as everything that comes across my path, every person that I get to talk to, every person that, that comes around and actually wants to actually interact with me, be around me, most definitely. And I really love it. I love it every single day. So yeah, so not only that, changing your mind patterns, right? Most definitely, that's always one of the biggest challenges out there. So, not along with, having the negative thoughts, right? Killing those ants is having that negative pattern. And what I talked about in the past Zoom is, so, a lot of people always tend to always, why me? Why do I got to go through this? Why don't I ever win? Why don't I ever get this? Why ain't I picked? Why ain't I chosen, right? And meanwhile, if you change your mindset for a lot of those things in your life, those things will come around, and they will come around in a very good way, in a very awesome way. And I've felt it. I felt it myself. You know, I just sat there and I just always kept on talking about, I know I'm going to win this, and I know I'm going to be great at this. I know I'm going to get picked for this. I know that people are going to want me for this. And every day when I go out there, that is what happens. That literally is what happens. I go out there, and sure enough, somebody right away, as soon as they see me, they're like, "Oh, there he is. There's Spotted Horse. Come on over. Come on over. Come and listen to this, man." Right? And I go over it, and they actually want to be a part of whatever they're talking about, be a part of their circle, get into the conversation, right? And so, it's truly amazing. A lot of people always bring up different things with me now. Now that I'm actually out here doing this kind of work, everyone's like, "Hey, I got something to share with you." I'm like, "Yeah, great, right on. Well, let's have a sit down and let's have a talk about this for sure." Definitely. And it is truly amazing, right? And then for yourself, so, being out there and doing all this kind of work that you're actually doing out there. So, man, the one mentor, he actually, he actually told me, he sat there and he goes, I just told you everything that I was telling you to get out there and go for your dreams, go for your goals, go for what you want to do in your life. And I was like, yeah, you did. He goes, but don't do it. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. You just told me to actually go after my dreams, go after my goals if you're not committed. If you're not committed to doing this, don't do it. Don't do it. You got to commit yourself to doing all this stuff that you need to do. You got to put your 100% in there. If your mind's only 50%, you're only getting 50% back. And that goes with a lot of different things out there. If you want to work on yourself, you got to put 110% out for yourself, and you get 110% coming back. And that goes for, looking for a job, looking for, your dream career. Never mind job, dream career, right? Most definitely. If you put 110% in that dream career, you're at the start of your dream business. Oh man, you get 110% coming back for you. So most definitely. And one of my mentors used to always tell me that, you're never ever too old to learn, and you're never ever too young to teach. I really love that. I love that saying, because you know what? I sit there and I think about, when I was actually working in communities, I guess you say facilitating Indigenous classes about learning how to make a drum, how to make a rattle, how to make a ribbon shirt, ribbon skirt, right? How to bead, how to do all that kind of stuff. And every time I went out to a community, more than likely there was always one or two, at least one or two elders that was actually in that group. And I was the one that was teaching them how to actually do all this kind of stuff. And I sat there and I was like, wow, I never thought I'd actually be teaching elders, but they were ever so grateful to be able to learn it because that was something I ended up losing in the residential school. And now they're learning it, they're getting it back, and they feel a lot more pride within themselves to be able to actually uphold their family and be able to actually teach the younger ones, the next generation, this generation, that generation, right? And so, some of them actually came up to me and actually literally shook my hand and they were like, wow, I, I've been here for so many years and I've been trying to find somebody to learn from, somebody that I felt comfortable in learning from. And here you are. Now it's you. You're the one that's actually teaching me, and I can't get over it. That it's you that's teaching me. It's not, so, any of our people hear it. It's you. And I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much because you don't sit there and you don't do it with a stern voice. You don't do it with authority. You come out and you actually just show what needs to be done. And we're ever so grateful for that. I was like, wow, I didn't think it was going to be like that, but most definitely it was truly amazing to be able to do that kind of stuff. And not only that, so with all that kind of stuff about your mind and all that stuff about your thoughts, you're killing your ants and stuff like that. Ah, don't let your thoughts hold you back. Don't let them hold you back. Man, oh man, if you got amazing thoughts up there for making things happen in your life, um, I'm going to put out there for instance, for me, getting up and speaking in front of hundreds of people. The first time I did it, I was like, oh my God, hello, yeah, okay, thank you, I'm done. And that was it, right? I was like nervous. I didn't want to look at anybody. I didn't want to acknowledge anyone. I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to quickly say what I needed to say and get out of there, right? Most definitely. You know what? You know what? If that's what it takes, give it a shot. Try it once, try it twice, try get out there and try say something to a group of people and see how well it goes. Because I know the first time I had to go out in front of a community and actually sit there and talk to everybody that was there. Oh man, my heart was racing like crazy. And so, I could feel the anxiety and feel the little bit of sweat coming down. And I was like, oh man, what am I gonna say? There's elders here, this well respected man here. There's this well-known elder here, and she's sitting there waiting for me to speak. And I was like, oh wow. I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And it just came out. I just all of a sudden started talking and it just came naturally. And they're like, wow, where have you been? Where have you been? You should have been here a long time ago. And I was like, oh man, that feels so good coming from you. Because I felt like I was so nervous to be able to actually even say anything to anybody. And all of a sudden hearing this coming from you guys really actually makes me feel comforted, makes me really feel really welcomed and okay to be here and to be doing this. So most definitely don't let your thoughts hold you back. A lot of us have, of course, those negative thoughts that hold us back, right? Thinking we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't, right? I'm not going to do this. I'm going to fail. I'm not going to do well, right? So don't let it hold you back. Man, oh man, if you can actually get out there and so, be out there and be the best version of yourself. Be the best person you can be out there for everybody that is out there. Most definitely, man. Your I'm gonna say your relatives, your people need you. If it's not you, who is it gonna be? Right? And that's what I keep thinking about. I want to do this not just for me. I want to do this for some of my relatives, some of even my kids, for the next generation and the next generation, right? I want to do it for, so, the people that are going through challenges on an everyday basis, right? And if I could sit there and just say one or two words for them to have them see life in a different light, to be able to make that little bit of a change in their life, oh man, I would feel so grateful, so honored to be able to be there and be able to say what I need to say so that they can actually go through some changes in their life to be an amazing person like everybody else is, right? And not only that, like I said before, you who you're around, right, is who you become. So most definitely change your relationships if you have to. If you notice somebody out there that is, kind of toxic or not doing so well in their life, and they're very negative and they're very challenged throughout their life, yeah, to change your relationships. Try and find better, positive people to be around. And then that's what will happen with you. You will end up being positive. You will end up being outgoing. You will end up being, right? So basically, what it is, what one of my mentors at one point in time had told me was OQP, right? Only quality people. And that's only quality people in your life, on who you want in your life. Who do you want in your life, right? And that does make a difference, right? Um, one of the other mentors at one point in time told me that, it's almost kind of like the the frog, the toad in the water, in the pot of water, right? If you put him in a pot of water, you crank that heat rate up, he's going to jump out right away, right? But if you end up slowly turning that dial up a little bit, right? Turn it up a little, and he eventually just becomes, so, what he was supposed to become, right? So he kind of eventually became what his surroundings was, right? He became boiling frog like boiling water, right? So most definitely. So if that's what has to happen in order for you to change your life, yes, be around a lot more positive people, be around a lot more happy people. And I'm being honest, there's people out there that actually want to be around me so much more because I bring a lot of smiles, a lot of light and stuff like that into their life. And I'm like, great, yes, most definitely, right? And they give it back in the same sense. And I really enjoy that kind of stuff, right? And so, and not only that, so, there's a lot of different things out there that a lot of different people out there don't realize about life is that you got to be able to take time for yourself. Take a break once in a while. You don't need to push yourself so hard every single day, right? So, I know, I'm being honest, I was actually doing this for, oh man, I've been doing this for like the past six months. And I was in front of my laptop and my computer. I was saying, I need to get this done. I want to get this done. I want people to see my work. I want people to be able to see me, be able to communicate with me, be able to be a part of what I have. And I was ever so grateful to be able to take a break when I did. Because if I didn't take that break, I sat there and I kind of thought about it. I was like, man, I was actually working myself so hard that I ended up getting so exhausted. I ended up at one point in time during those months, I ended up getting sick because I was pushing myself a little bit too hard, right? So most definitely, number one, looking out for yourself still. Remember that from the last one of the last Zoom meetings out there. Uh, Always number one, yourself first. Always looking after yourself. And then not only that, when you actually get out there and you start making that difference in life, right? Make a powerful impact in people's lives if you can. So, if you're going to get out there and do your job, man, you're going to do your career, you're going to run your business, you're going to, whatever it is that you're going to do, man, put 110% effort in it. When you put 110% effort into it, people recognize it. People realize that where it's coming from. They're like, wow, this person didn't have to do this, but they did. This person didn't have to do this, but they did. And I remember that person. I remember how hard they worked to get to where they're at now. And that was actually one of the bosses that I worked for. Um, he talked about a time when I was actually working with him. It was actually a laborious job, and I went out there and I actually did an amazing job at what I was supposed to do. And throughout that time, he sat there and he talked. He stopped and he says, I am looking for an assistant to work with me. And because I'm out here looking for an assistant to work with me, I just let all you guys decide to work on how you were going to work from the time when you guys got hired. And the one person I noticed that no matter what did not give up at working very hard every single day, showed up every single day, was on time, was magnificent, even worked through some of their breaks and didn't even care on getting his full break, and did overtime, worked on some of the weekends, and did amazing, significant work. And I actually want that person to become my assistant. And I sat there and I was like trying to look around. I was trying to figure out who this person was. And he sat there and he goes, Larry, can you come on up here? And I was like, whoa, what? I started laughing. I was like, man, me? What? I was like, man, I thought it was just working to be working. I thought, I'm being honest, I thought everybody worked like this. But literally, I guess in his eyes, not a lot of people worked like that. So I gave my 110%. 110% came back for me and my family. Yes. So that's some of the things that I think about when I was out there in the labor industry. I always used to think about my family. I'm like, do I want my family to be just living a regular, ordinary life? I'm like, no, man. I want to, so, live an amazing life. I want to live a beautiful life. I want to be able to do, so, if my family all of a sudden wants to get up and take off and go for a trip, so, out, who knows, Vancouver, maybe out east, maybe Toronto, maybe down the States, down to California, Florida, right? I want to be able to do those things. But I can't do those things if I just keep my life staying at okay, staying at all right. I want to start bringing it up higher and being a lot more better than I can ever be. So most definitely that right there was truly amazing to have that. And not only that, so one of my mentors had also said, so make sure that you're prepared for things that you do in your life. Being prepared, having things set up, having things ready to go. Because right now, seriously, it's better be prepared to have an opportunity than it is to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Because man, I tell you, so when I all of a sudden had an opportunity, I sat there and I thought, I was like, oh wait, I'm not ready. I don't have this done. I don't have that done. And this gentleman that I was talking with, he was like, okay, I'm sorry, I can't wait. I need somebody today. I was like, okay, well, I'm not ready. I'm sorry. So he ended up passing on that little bit of workload to somebody else. And being honest, it did crush me. It did hurt me. It brought me down for a little while, but I brought myself back up and I started working harder than ever to actually get all my stuff done. And right now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I got 100% of the work that I've been working on done, but literally, I probably still got another 100% more up here of work to come out of my mind because there is things that I've been thinking about for, oh man, must be at least 10 years, if not even longer than that. Because literally a lot of my stuff comes from my life. A lot of my stuff comes from when I was growing up and I remember doing this and I remember doing this in a different way and talking about different things. So, it's almost kind of like goes back to that time when I had my uncle. My uncle used to come over and he used to come and visit me. And when he used to come and visit me, he he used to talk to me about certain things that he used to go through in his life. And for me being the way I was like, wow, I can't believe this is happening? My uncle's asking me for advice. So I sat there and I was like, well, when I get stuck in challenges like that, what do I always tell myself? Because I knew I didn't really go up to anybody. I sourced out and I learned on my own. And I took in mentors when I can find them. I took on people that I needed to have in my life. And I remember this one that I actually ended up thinking about, and I was like, wow. And I found it was really positive because of some of the challenges that I went through in my life. And when I was going through those dark times in my head, I started thinking positive thoughts, started thinking positive things, and it slowly started bringing me out of that dark place. And then next thing you know, I end up start feeling happy. I end up wanting to do things in a better life and in a better way. And I wanted to succeed. I did not want to go out there and try and be a failure. And I was like, wow, man, this really works. If you actually think positive things in your life, positive things will happen. So not only just work, not only relationships, it can go for just about anything that you have in your life. If you want something positive to happen in your life, you think about it and you put it out there. Most definitely, it will come. It will happen. That's the other part of it is that you got to believe. You got to believe it's going to happen. If you don't believe it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. It's all up to you on how it actually happens and how it works, right? Not only that, so, if you end up doing all that kind of stuff, right, you got to realize that you have greatness within you, you know? Oh man, oh man. So, even just saying that, it was like, wow, that really reminds me of one of my mentors out there, right? You have greatness within you and you can do more than you can ever imagine. And I was like, oh man, I can't believe how that is so true that I can actually do a lot more than I can ever imagine. And if I actually just sit there and actually put my work, put my limits to the test, and definitely it always happens. It's happened for me number of times, number of different things out there in my life. And making it happen, I was truly blessed, truly grateful when it happened. Um, One of the most amazing things that actually happened in my life, it it actually brought me to tears because of how powerful it was and what actually happened. I remember at one point in time, I was actually working with my amazing best friend, one of my best friends out there, Justin Young. Oh man, an amazing speaker, amazing motivator, an all around amazing man. And he talks, so he talks with his heart and he talks, oh man, so good. And when I went up to him and I talked to him, and he was like, we've been bros for how long? And it's not that long, but I already see it in you. Would you ever want to come up and actually join me and do what I do every day? And I was like, oh my God, yes, 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 I do, I do. And he sat there and he goes, well, yeah, well, all the stuff that I got is all my stuff. If you can create your own stuff, you can actually be doing the same thing I'm doing on an everyday basis. I was like, wow, I never thought of it that way. I never thought I was able to do this. I never thought I could make it happen. And I sat there and I kept thinking about it, thinking, well, if I do this and I put this there, I grab this and I put that there, and I make this happen and I put this together and I talk about this, and yes, I can do it. I can do it. And lo and behold, we had the amazing opportunity of actually working together up in Halfway River. He invited me along. I went up there, went up to Halfway River with him, and actually we had a whole circle of a bunch of youth there. And this story was truly amazing because when I actually did this vision and goals workshop, basically what it is when you're all sitting there, what I go over is, all right, everybody's got to close their eyes. When you close your eyes, I'm going to count down. I'm going to count down from 10 all the way right to 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now as you're feeling comfortable, you're feeling relaxed. And within that time, basically feel nothing but your surroundings. Feel everything around you. Feel the warmth, feel the kindness, feel the love. And start thinking about some visions out there that you actually want to happen in your life. And I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath, breathe in with me, hold it for a second, and breathe out. And then as you're thinking about some of your most amazing visions, amazing goals, think about certain things that you want to happen in your life, certain things you want to be a part of. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be owning a brand new vehicle, owning a brand new house, paying off your house, paying off your truck, winning the lottery, going on an amazing vacation and being out there with family and friends, rejuvenating and coming together and rejoicing with some old family members. Um, I ended up having one youth that was there, and she was talking about an aunt that she did not get along with at one point in time. They actually used to be like this at one point in time. They separated, and when they separated, it hurt her a lot, and she was really hurt for a long time. And it was basically because something was said to her aunt about what her niece had done. And her aunt wasn't happy with what happened. And meanwhile, it wasn't the niece's fault. It was actually her partner, her boyfriend's fault that actually did what happened. So she was really trying to make that connection again. And she couldn't do it because she couldn't see it. She couldn't make it happen. So she sat there, and when she did that exercise with me, she closed her eyes and she got relaxed and she started thinking about that in her life. And when she was thinking about it, she was actually seeing her and her aunt rejoicing, having tea together, talking about things like the old times, like they used to visit, connect, and be together. And she sat there and she started crying because she had that opportunity in her mind to actually connect with her aunt. And she sat there, and after it was all done and over with, I asked everybody in the circle, how was your experience? What was your experience about? What did you think about? What did you do? Some people said that, well, um, my parents actually got a brand new house, and it's actually already happening, but I can see it already that it's going to be an amazing house and it looks really good. And I was like, wow, that's great. That's cool. And so, I sat there and I thought, well, how about somebody that doesn't know what's going to happen? They thought about it, but they don't know if this is going to happen in the future. And she came up and she put her hand up and she was like, I got one. It's me and my aunt. We haven't talked in over 2 years, and she's really upset with me, and I wanted to reconnect with her. I haven't been able to because every time I go to um, my grandmother's house and she's there, she will get up and she will leave. She didn't want to talk to me. And I don't want to just go up to her house and try and talk to her because I have a feeling she will get very mad. It'll become a physical fight. So she didn't want to take that chance on going to actually visit her auntie. And when she seen that in her vision about reconnecting with her aunt, she felt the courage to actually go up there and just do it. She went up to her aunt's house, she knocked on her door, and her aunt sat there and she was stunned, she was shocked, and she was looking at her. And she sat there and she, right away, her niece said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for how you feel. I'm sorry for what you've gone through. I'm sorry for this and I'm sorry for that. But I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of this didn't happen because of me. A lot of this happened because of my ex-partner. My ex-partner is the one that actually brought this up. And her aunt just sat there and she was like, "Oh my God." And she just started crying too. They both hugged each other. They both reconnected. They both started sharing time together. They both, oh man, it was truly amazing because right after that, after I left the community, she connected with me one more time. She let me know that, yes, me and my aunt, we're getting along again. We're visiting every single day. We're talking every single day. Oh man, it's truly amazing. I can't believe how strong that is, right? And I sit there and I think about that and I'm like, wow, man. So, if you put your mind to it, a lot of different things can happen. A lot of different things can happen in your life. Most definitely. But yes, so you can do anything out there that you want, and if there's anything out there that you want to do, man oh man, you can do it. You can make it happen. Just don't let everyone's opinions about you become your reality. Even though somebody has an opinion about you, that's not your opinion. That's not what you think. You know you can do it. You know you can succeed. You know you can actually make it through that challenge. And most definitely, anything is possible. Anything. And if you think about it, and you think about that one word a lot of people use, impossible, right? If you think about that word, impossible, you break it up. You take the im and the possible. I am, I'm, I'm possible, right? So most definitely, I sat there and I was like, wow, that's amazing. I never thought of it that way. But most definitely, it makes a huge difference for me. Changing the word from hard to challenging, using that. Oh man, life is challenging, but I know I'm going to make it. I know I'm going to be there. I know I'm going to make it through this because that's all it is. It's challenging. Hard? Oh man, I'm stuck here forever, for life, right? And then not only that, oh, some of my mentors that I like to talk about. So, one of them is, of course, one that we actually seen in one of the videos. Oh man, Walt Disney, right? When I heard his story, that truly inspired me to want to become who I wanted to become because of him. He went through 7 nervous breakdowns, right? Went bankrupt. From what I heard and what I understand, he went bankrupt twice in his life, and he went through tons of more challenges with that, and he still succeeded. Man, oh man, you can go down, California, you can go to Florida and see a success right there in front of you. It's truly amazing of what anybody can do if they actually use their mind and put their mind to it and actually use what they have on an everyday basis. So remember that life isn't hard, it is challenging. And remember that nothing is impossible because you are possible. I'm possible, right? Most definitely. Break the word up, make it work for you because that's what matters the most is always yourself. And think about yourself, think about your family next because you know what? You can't get anywhere in life if you all of a sudden had to grab onto that mask and you can't breathe and you want the rest of your family to breathe. You got to breathe first in order for your family to breathe. So it's looking after yourself before you look after anybody else. And no matter what, push yourself to the limits if you can. Push yourself as far as you can get. And if you can make it, and oh man, it's going to be the most amazing reward you're going to get in your life, right? And talking about making that change of, bringing yourself higher, bringing yourself a lot more higher, feeling a lot more greater every day. So, stop using just okay, all right, I'm fine. No, you're not. You're great. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're extravagant. You're fabulous, you're man, magnificent, right? Man, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up so high that basically if you have to fake it at the first little bit, that's going to be okay. That's going to be okay because when you actually start feeling it, start bringing it in your life, man, every day is going to seem like an amazing, truly amazing, beautiful day. And you're going to love life. You're going to love people around you. And you're going to be able to get out there and actually follow your dreams and your goals. Not just for you, for your family as well. If you have a family, yes, most definitely. Man, oh man. Truly amazing things can happen in one's life if they actually use their mind and put their mind to it. Yes. I thank you guys very much for actually joining me tonight. I noticed that we're getting close to the end of the session, but most definitely there is a lot of different stories I'd like to talk about, and I know that some of them are actually going to take longer than longer than 5 minutes, right? So I definitely won't get into that. But there is a lot of true amazing stories about there, a lot of about the famous people in our lives, right? Um, One of them, Steve Harvey. If you look up Steve Harvey's life, right? Oh man, that's amazing, amazing, amazing story, right? Christopher Gardner, right? What was Christopher Gardner? Anybody know? Right? Pursuit of Happiness. The story, Pursuit of Happiness, right? Or what was it? Or was it Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith? That movie. So there's that one right there. Yes, Pursuit of Happiness. Yes, that was the movie. If you haven't watched that movie, I encourage you to watch it. Man, oh man, that was an amazing movie. It actually got me a little bit triggered because of so what that man went through to actually become successful in his life, and I thought that was an amazing story for sure. Um, Thinking about other famous people, what was his name? Howard. Howard, what's his name? Howard Schultz. Howard Schultz, yes. Anybody know who Howard Schultz is? Man, oh man, grab that cup of coffee right there, Starbucks. Hold it up right there. An amazing man, went through an amazing journey, came from basically living from nothing to becoming a multi-billionaire. An amazing story right there. I love that story. I love it a lot for a lot of things that he went through in his life to make it happen for him. And I love that. And yes, there's a lot of different things coming up with me. I got actual true um amazing stories of a lot of local people around here in Kamloops. Um I can't wait to actually bring it out and put it out into communities. I ended up getting stories from the guy that works at Fun Factor, Arthur Loring. I got an amazing story from Shane Gofferson, the guy that owns a couple of Tim Hortons here in Kamloops. I got another amazing story from Chris Bowser, a was it simp counselor, right? And it's totally amazing to hear all these stories, right, on how they actually made a success out of their life. And I was like, wow, man, oh man, people need to hear these, because if nobody hears them, nobody thinks that it's possible for them to do. I didn't think anything was possible for me to do until all of a sudden now here I am right here. I'm doing this today. I'm making this happen, right? And it's me. It's me. I sit there and I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I'm getting invited to actually go out to different communities and actually do more speaking as well. And I'm totally excited about it. I can't wait to get out there and actually be able to share all the stuff that I have up here. Not only up here, but within the mentors that are allowing me to actually share some of their amazing experiences as well. I thank you guys very much for joining me tonight. And most definitely, I am so looking forward to. So, if you guys haven't met me yet, looking forward to meeting you in the future, meeting you in person. Yes. Thank you very much. Have an amazing night. Yes. And don't forget, it's all up to you. You're the one that matters the most. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much, Spotted Horse. I feel like this was such a wonderful way to close off, many of the lessons that you shared with us throughout the day, about connecting with people, about really, believing in yourself and having gratitude for yourself as well, and setting those goals, right, and going after them so that you can really visualize them and believe them. And so I appreciate you. You really just brought it all together. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I just thought I'd put it out there if there are any questions for Spotted Horse at this time in the last couple of minutes that we have. Okay, well, I know that this is really just the beginning of a great relationship, Spotted Horse, between you and Sprott Shaw. I hope that we will get to meet in person one day. I really
Yes.
would enjoy that. I know
Yeah.
the Kamloops campus is really just in your backyard,
Yeah.
and yeah, hoping that this is a first day of many days that we'll have
Right.
to share your
Yes.
stories and your wisdom. So, Cook's Jam, and
Hey.
thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today.
Oh my, Cook St'at'imc very much. Cook St'at'imc, Cook St'at'imc, Cook St'at'imc. Yes. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Yeah. All right. Okay, everybody. Thanks so much for attending. Have a good night, and we'll see you later. Take care.